Hi, I'm Greg Bolkin, Redeemer's youth minister, and I want to tell you a story. You see, when I was growing up, my family didn't have a lot of money. We almost never went out to eat at restaurants. We drove old cars. I wore hand-me-down clothes. I didn't have an iPod or a cell phone. Well, they didn't exist back then, but if they did, I probably wouldn't have been able to afford one. And so it always confused me each week when I would see my mom sit down on Saturday and write a check, and then turn around on Sunday morning, put that money in the offering plate at church. Why would we give away some of our money to church that we could use to enjoy life a little bit more? Do you give an offering at church? Do you see your parents give? Do you ever wonder why we give? My parents and other adults growing up in church taught me that giving is part of living. They taught me that God is so good and that all that we have belongs to God. And they taught me that when we help people who need us, when we go to worship services, when we give back some of the money that God has given us, all of those are ways for us to say thank you to God. It makes room in our lives for God to come in and grow in us. My wife Sandra and I want to make room for God in our lives, and so we try to let go. We give back 10% of our paychecks to church. It's great. We're so glad we do it. We want God to grow in our lives, and we see it happening as we make a regular pattern of giving. Giving is part of living, and giving will change your heart and make room for God to grow in you. Now that you're growing in faith and taking more responsibility in your life, I'm asking you to make a pledge to give a regular offering at church. God is so good. Look at all He's given. Please fill out a pledge card and bring it to church, and then follow through regularly. As you get paid in your allowance or from your job or when you do babysitting, just each time give back some of that to God. You'll be glad that you did. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about, each time we're together, what it's like to give to God regularly. I'm really excited to be at Redeemer, and I'm super excited to see all the ways that God will grow in us and work through us together. God is so good. Make a pledge to give back.